Good afternoon. This is Akashvani and I am Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Pragyan rover of India's Chandrayaan-3 takes a walk on the moon. BRICS invites 6 countries including Saudi Arabia, UAE and Iran to become new members of the bloc. G20 Trade and Investment Ministers meeting begins in Jaipur. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is seen as a combination of openness, opportunities and options. Incessant rainfall disrupts normal life in Himachal Pradesh. At least 8 buildings collapsed following landslides in Kullu district. Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin killed in a plane crash in Russia. World Wrestling Body suspends Wrestling Federation of India for not conducting elections. And in chess, India's R. Pragyananand and world number 1 Magnus Carlsen to play tiebreaker set of World Cup final this afternoon after 2 draws. After the historic landing of Vikram lander of India's Chandrayaan-3 on the moon, the rover Pragyan has rolled down on the lunar surface. India created history yesterday by becoming the first nation to reach the southern polar region of the moon as lander module Vikram made a perfect touchdown precisely at the scheduled time of 6:04 p.m. Indian Standard Time. The Indian Space Research Organization ISRO said this morning that made in India and made for the moon rover Pragyan has ramped down from the lander and India took a walk on the moon. This signifies a giant leap in the Indian space program. By rolling on the lunar surface, the 6 wheels of the rover have imprinted Indian tricolour and ISRO logo on the moon crust, showing to the world for time immemorial that India landed first near the lunar south pole. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has thanked world leaders for their messages on successful soft landing of Chandrayaan-3 on the moon. Many world leaders had congratulated India on the feat. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that during the 3-day BRICS summit, a decision has been taken for the expansion of 5-member bloc BRICS. Mr. Modi said Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia and UAE will now become full members of BRICS. Mr. Modi was addressing a special event BRICS Africa Outreach and BRICS Plus Dialogue at Johannesburg in South Africa today.
मुझे खुशी है कि हमारी टीम्स ने मिलकर एक्सपांशन के गाइडिंग प्रिंसिपल्स, स्टैंडर्ड्स, क्राइटेरिया और प्रोसीड्यूर पर सहमति बनाई है और इनके आधार पर आज हम अर्जेंटीना, इजिप्ट, ईरान, सऊदी अरब, इथियोपिया और यूएई का ब्रिक्स में स्वागत करने के लिए सहमत हुए हैं.
Currently, BRICS members include Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. The Prime Minister said that India has always supported the expansion of BRICS. He also expressed confidence that working together with these new members will give a new pace and energy to BRICS cooperation. Mr. Modi pointed out that India always had a very close ties with all these countries.
भारत का ये मत रहा है कि नए सदस्यों के जुड़ने से ब्रिक्स एक संगठन के रूप में मजबूत तथा हमारे सभी साझा प्रयासों को एक नया बल देने वाला होगा. इस कदम से विश्व के अनेक देशों का मल्टीपोलर वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर में विश्वास और सुदृढ़ होगा.
On the success of India's Chandrayaan-3 mission, Prime Minister said it is a matter of pride for us that this achievement has been accepted as an achievement for all of humanity.
ये केवल भारत के लिए ही नहीं बल्कि पूरे विश्व के वैज्ञानिक समुदाय के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है और जिस क्षेत्र में भारत ने अपना टारगेट तय किया था वहां पहले कभी कोई प्रयास नहीं हुआ है और ये प्रयास सफल हुआ है. इस ऐतिहासिक अवसर पर मेरी तरफ से, मेरे देशवासियों की तरफ से और मेरे वैज्ञानिकों की तरफ से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं.
Earlier, the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, announced outcomes of the 15th BRICS summit. He said the summit has reached an agreement to invite Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia and UAE to become new members of BRICS. The membership will come into effect from January 2024. A 2-day G20 Trade and Investment Ministerial meeting under India's presidency began in Jaipur today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the meeting through a video message. Speaking at the event, the Prime Minister highlighted the global optimism and confidence in the Indian economy. He said India is seen as a combination of openness, opportunities and options.
Throughout history, trade has led to exchange of ideas, cultures, and technology. It has brought people closer. Trade and globalization have also lifted hundreds of millions out of extreme poverty. Today, we see global optimism and confidence in the Indian economy. India is seen as a combination of openness, opportunities, and options.
Mr. Modi said during the last 9 years, India has become the fifth largest global economy as a result of the sustained efforts by the government. He stressed that the government is committed to making India the third largest global economy in the next few years. The Prime Minister emphasized on building resilient and inclusive global value chains that can withstand future shocks.
Current global challenges, from the pandemic to geopolitical tensions, have tested the world economy. At G20, it is our responsibility to rebuild confidence in international trade and investments. We must build resilient and inclusive global value chains that can withstand future shocks.
Mr. Modi emphasized that India believes in a rules-based, open, inclusive and multilateral trading system with the WTO at its core.
India believes in a rule-based, open, inclusive, multilateral trading system with the WTO at its core. India has advocated the concerns of the Global South at the 12th WTO Ministerial Conference. We were able to forge consensus on safeguarding the interests of millions of farmers and small businesses.
The fourth G20 Culture Working Group meeting under India's presidency is underway in Varanasi to discuss actionable outcomes while positioning culture at the heart of policy making. Minister of State for Culture Meenakshi Lekhi is taking part in the meeting. Culture Ministers' meet will be held on Saturday. The 26th National Conference on E-Governance got underway in Indore today to deliberate on providing better facilities to the citizens. The two-day conference has been organized by the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology in collaboration with the government of Madhya Pradesh. The theme of the conference is Developing India, Empowering Citizens. Representatives from 28 states and 9 union territories as well as industry are participating in the conference. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Heavy rainfall continues to lash Himachal Pradesh for the past 48 hours. Landslides and cloudbursts triggered by incessant rainfall have led to the closure of 709 roads, including 3 national highways in the state. Power and water supply have also been severely affected in several areas. The Shimla Heritage Railway Station has suffered damage due to torrential rain and landslides. At least 8 multi-story buildings collapsed in Anni town of Kullu district. No casualty was reported as buildings were evacuated after they were declared unsafe by the district administration. We have a report.
During the past 48 hours, heavy rainfall, landslides, floods and cloudburst incidents have resulted in 13 deaths and 6 people missing. During this time, landslides have occurred in 24 places and floods in 3 places in the state. Rivers and streams are overflowing, raising the risk of flooding. Surendra Paul, the director of the Shimla Meteorological Center, stated that due to the active monsoon, there is an expectation of widespread rainfall for the next 2 days. He mentioned that an orange alert for heavy rainfall issued for today and a yellow alert for tomorrow. These alerts cover Shimla, Chamba, Kullu, Mandi, Kangra, Bilaspur, Una, Hamirpur, Solan and Sirmaur districts. The Meteorological Department has advised people to remain conscious, avoid unnecessary travel and stay away from areas prone to landslides and river banks. Ritesh Kapoor, Akashvani News, Shimla.
India Meteorological Department has issued a yellow alert for heavy rain in some districts of Punjab till Saturday. Due to the continuous rise in water level of different dams in the state after rain in neighbouring Himachal Pradesh, the danger of the flood looms large over Punjab. The state government has closed all the government and private schools till 26th of August. More from a correspondent.
Due to the very heavy rainfall in many districts of the neighbouring state of Himachal Pradesh, the water level in Govind Sagar Lake of Bhakra Dam has once again on the rise. The floodgates of the dam also remained open up to 4 feet. The possibility of releasing more water from the dam cannot be ruled out if the water level continues to rise. Similarly, the water level of Pong Dam has touched the danger mark of 1,390 feet. The ever-increasing water level of these dams has threatened to worsen the flood situation once again in many districts of the state. Shishu Sharma Shantal, Akashvani News, Jalandhar.
Air Chief Marshal V.R. Chaudhary has indicated that light combat aircraft Mark 1A could be inducted in a newly raised squadron in one of the Indian Air Force operational bases early next year. Mr. Chaudhary reviewed the status of the light combat aircraft program. Air Chief Marshal stressed that given the nature of this project of national importance, it is required that all stakeholders adopt a collaborative approach towards its success. The program has been the harbinger of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India initiatives of the nation. The 54th Network Planning Group meeting under PM Gati Shakti has recommended 4 infrastructure projects worth more than 7,600 crore rupees. During the meeting, 2 projects each of Road, Transport and Highways Ministry and Railways Ministry were assessed. The Network Planning Group examined 4-lane Thiruvananthapuram Outer Ring Road under Bharatmala Pariyojana in Kerala worth more than 4,767 crore rupees. Veteran Hindi and Marathi film actor Seema Deo passed away today at the age of 83. She appeared in over 80 films throughout her career. The senior actor was seen in Hindi films like Anand, Koshish and Kora Kagaj. The last rites of the veteran actor will be performed in Mumbai this evening. She is survived by her sons Ajinka Deo and Abhinay Deo. The head of the Wagner mercenary group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, who led the brief armed rebellion against the Russian military in June, has reportedly died in a plane crash. A plane heading for Moscow to St. Petersburg crashed in the Tver region yesterday, killing all 10 passengers on board. According to the Russian Civil Aviation Authority, Prigozhin was one of the passengers on the plane. As per reports, Wagner Group commander and one of the founders of the group, Dmitry Utkin, was also killed in the crash. The authorities have recovered the remains of those who lost their lives in the plane crash. They are still investigating the cause of the crash. Various theories have surfaced following the incident, ranging from technical problems to explosions on board the jet. The key domestic share indices witnessed marginal losses in the afternoon trade. The Sensex was 72 points down to trade at 65,362, while the Nifty was trading 26 points down to trade at 19,418 a short while ago. The United World Wrestling has suspended Wrestling Federation of India WFI with immediate effect for failing to conduct elections on time. The move will not allow Indian grapplers to compete at the upcoming World Championships under the Indian flag. The Indian wrestlers will have to compete as neutral athletes at the Olympic Qualifying World Championships starting September 16th. The Indian Olympic Association (IOA) had appointed the ad hoc panel on April 27th, and the committee was supposed to hold elections within 45 days. But ad hoc panel failed to honour the 45-day deadline for conducting the elections. India's R. Pragyananand will face world number 1 Magnus Carlsen of Norway in a tiebreaker set of the Chess World Cup final this afternoon. This comes after the second game between Indian Grandmaster R. Pragyananand and Norwegian Magnus Carlsen ended in a draw yesterday at Baku, Azerbaijan. Carlsen drew the first game of the classical chess after 35 moves with the Indian prodigy. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Pragyan rover of India's Chandrayaan-3 takes a walk on the moon. BRICS invites 6 countries including Saudi Arabia, UAE and Iran to become new members of the bloc. G20 Trade and Investment Ministers meeting begins in Jaipur. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says India is seen as a combination of openness, opportunities and options. Incessant rainfall disrupts normal life in Himachal Pradesh. At least 8 buildings collapsed following landslides in Kulu district. Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin killed in a plane crash in Russia. And in chess, India's R. Pragyan Anand and world number 1 Magnus Carlsen to play a tiebreaker set of World Cup final this afternoon after 2 draws. And with that, we end the midday news.
नमस्कार, दोपहर समाचार